I'm Jim.
And I'm Frank.
And I'm Jerry.
And this is the JFJ Conspiracy Podcast, where the shop talk is rock. This is episode 134.
Whew.
We're not doing a Mount Rushmore for the 2000s. We decided to
because we don't know anything.
Yeah, not enough to really. And I did get some feedback from Dominic, the intern. He was rather disappointed in our totality of the Mount Rushmores because we just mentioned who we liked and moved on. We didn't have a whole lot of discussion for the last 3 weeks or 3 episodes. It was just, this is this, that's that. And he thought we should have broke the 70s up into 2 Mount Rushmores, the early 70s.
Probably do 3. 70s. Yeah. Early, mid, late.
That was the best music, I think, that era.
Absolutely. What we grew up on, guys. Yeah.
So, question for Jerry.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Ross Valerie has going to be dropping a new single called Windmill. Have any interest in listening to that?
Is he singing?
I'm not completely sure. I'm sure he probably is. It just says it's his single.
I might. Yeah, I might, because something else dropped recently that was, I can't remember, of course. I had it like 3 seconds ago. Yeah, I'll check it out. Absolutely. Yep. Okay.
I mean,
what it's about.
Very talented guy.
The Mick Mars thing. The Mick Mars thing. Yeah, that's
okay. Did you listen to that album, Mick Mars?
Not all the way through, just a couple tunes, because it was released very slowly.
Right.
I think it's all out now.
Yes,
but from what I heard, I loved it.
Yeah.
It's you can tell where the oomph comes from in Crew.
Yeah, I think so.
Not
to change the subject too much, but I just read that I guess the Motley Crue's next album is going to have a little rock country flavoring to it. John 5's style of finger picking and whatnot is really going to change their sound. So that it is what it is.
There you go. Best way to say it. Be nice. I'll be nice now.
What about you, Jim and Ross Valerie?
Yes. I'm in on Ross.
All right.
If nothing else, for the bass playing.
Yes.
There you go.
I think he's a hugely underrated player. When they talk about, like, they do stupid lists, right? But he's one of those people that's never on the list, but I think he's great.
Yes. The other thing I want to talk to you guys about, see if you've heard this or watched the video, but there's a video out of a gentleman. I forget what his name is, but he has taken 2 Eagles concerts, one back in November of last year and one sometime this year. And he's AB'd the vocals, and they are exactly the same. And would you think that if the Eagles had an issue with that, they would have flagged down that video, because it's got a ton of views? They must be aware of it. And there's no way you can sing the same way months apart and make it sound like one vocal.
Well, that's right up Jim's alley. What do you think, Jaime?
I would say, what do you guys think? Do you think they're?
I think they're syncing, lip syncing at their age.
Excuse me.
Don Henley, he's used to have an excellent scratchy voice. He had that very definitive voice, but there's no way you can sing the same song the same way twice, much less right after each other or 6 months apart.
Well, how do we know the video is not manipulated in some way?
Well, this came out as
there's that.
Yeah. This came out. What happened is a guy, he heard it and he says, I'm gonna AB this, and he panned one vocal all the way to the right, one all the way to the left, and it came out on social media. And this other guy who is, I wish I knew his name, but that's what he does. His whole video presentation is bloopers and things in concerts and things like that. So,
okay.
And so he took it, and instead of using the same method that the guy did, because he he says, let's try this. You do hear crowd noise from one because it's fan footage that's recorded, and the other one is recorded as well. And there's no fan noise at all. But it's exactly the same. Now I watched this video 2 or 3 times, and you can watch it and see Don Henley singing, and you can see it looks like he's singing, but when you've got your face in front of a microphone and it's you've seen, you're standing and we watch Kiss and other bands, you can't tell if they're singing or not, especially when they're good at it.
And when you're in the cheap seats. Yeah.
Right. Does this do anything if it's in fact true? Does it do anything to the Eagles' credibility at this stage in their career?
I doubt it.
Nobody
seems to care anymore.
That's it, Jim. No, that's the way it is.
Yeah, I'm bummed that anybody does that, because you pay good money for a ticket and you want to see a live show. I want to see a live show.
Oh, well, they're alive.
No, alive is one thing.
That's what
live
I'm saying. They're alive. Yeah.
But yeah, not no. It's a bummer.
I think if you don't have the goods, just quit. Like stop touring.
Yeah, but that
I know everybody wants to cash out.
The thing that gets me is how much is too much, guy. I mean, we're not in that boat, but I think if I had 100 million in the bank, I don't know that I'd worry about 5 more, but maybe they do. Maybe it's everything I can get, every marble in the bag, every coin. So I don't know, but to answer the question, I could care less, guys. Right. I really could. Yeah, I could care less.
I mean, I'm not going to go see the Eagles, so
it's the same. Yeah.
Okay, well, let's put it to something different. You want to go see Paul McCartney? You want to go see somebody that you really respect, and you find out Paul McCartney's lip syncing. Not saying he is. Don't get me wrong.
That was a great show, though.
Yeah, but would you feel any less about Paul McCartney? You found out that he didn't sing half the show?
No.
Well, let me put it to you this way, because Paul McCartney is who Paul McCartney is.
That's the thing.
Do you go to see Paul McCartney? Or are you going there for some kind of live perfection?
To me, it was to see a Beatle.
Right.
Absolutely. To see a Beatle.
You go to see Paul McCartney to see Paul McCartney because he's a legend.
It's an event. But me personally, I want to see him. I want to see him singing. If I've paid that money to see a live concert, don't tell me it's live and then it's Memorex, because you are now a fraud.
You're lying.
Yeah. I would be more upset, I think, if it was somebody else.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. Right. Like it's probably not going to happen now, but I'm hoping that Brian Wilson will do a few more shows. Wow. Right. I doubt that's going to happen, but if he did, I would want to go there and see it warts and all.
Well,
because I don't expect it to be brilliant. I expect his band to be brilliant. I don't expect him to be brilliant.
Yeah.
But I'm going to see Brian Wilson.
Brian Wilson.
But you wouldn't want to hear.
I don't want to hear him lip sync it. No.
Right. And that's my whole point.
He probably couldn't. He probably couldn't.
No, he probably couldn't.
Yeah.
Or Brian. Now I think I've told you guys before, Glenn Campbell on his farewell tour, battling Alzheimer's. And during a couple of the songs, he just flat out forgot the lyrics.
And choked it up. And I think
stopped it.
I like the honesty of that.
Well, you know what? It brought tears to everybody's eyes because he was trying to please us. And he says, let me start this over. I'll get through it. They did it again and he nailed it. That's honesty. Like you said, that's integrity. Huh. And he went out, in my opinion, as far as that tour goes, on top. He didn't try to bamboozle anybody and sing, I am the, lineman for the county on the record, recorded version. So anyways, that's, I'm just curious. Our listeners, what do you think? You care if your performers are lip syncing or there's a lot of guided tracks and enhancements and things like that, backing vocals. I don't have a problem with that because sometimes you do need that help to get the full rounded sound of a song. But don't tell me you're singing if you're not singing. That part, that bothers me. So, okay, let's move on to something else real quick before we get into any new music. I got to tell you, remember Grozny few episodes back?
Yes.
Yep. I purchased their album off of Bandcamp, and in a timely fashion, it showed up in this container. I don't want my address on there, but when I got it, this was cut right here. This was cut, and there was a piece of tape on the back, and I opened it up, and there was no record, nothing. Right. So I emailed the guys and I said, hey, the post office or somebody really likes your music because they stole my record. And they said, well, we don't know if we are happy about that or not.
Don't know what to make of it.
Yeah. But we're going to send you a new record. So
they delivered it like that, all opened up and flashed.
It was retaped on that one little spot on the back, but both sides were cut. You could tell it had been manipulated.
Yeah.
So it arrived today. Nice 180 gram vinyl. They sent me some stickers to go along with it.
Very nice.
So
thanks,
nice little package. I appreciate it, guys. They got it out real quick. So
thank you.
Anyways, man, if nothing's more irritating.
I've never had that happen.
No, that's just blatant.
Yeah. And it wasn't my mailman because he's an older guy and he's not into punk rock or anything.
Yeah.
And it had to happen at the post office where they dropped it off. From there to my post office. It's not that far. It's all California. Oh well. I'm glad to finally have gotten the record.
Yeah, track it and see if the weight changes.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Well, let's get into some new music, Jerry. What do you got for us this week?
Yes, Jim and Frank. We have a band called Spiller out of Boston. And folks out in Conspiracy Land, there's a couple of bands called Spiller out there. So go to Bandcamp and type in Spiller Dad Punk, and you'll get these boys from Boston. Name of the Spiller. This is their self-titled album. It's a 4-song EP. The song Frank's going to spin is The Sparkler. What I like about this is this little short bio. Dad Punk from Boston, former members of Gangrene, Underball, Jerry's Kids, Northern Skulls, and Green Magnet School. So no slouches by any means. We have Jack Clark on drums and vocals, Greg Fiore, vocals, guitar, Glenn Stilfen, bass, Chris Pearson, guitars and vocals, recorded, engineered by Benny Grotto with assistance from Carl Plaster at Mad Oak Studios in Allston, Mass. In September through October of 23, mixed and produced by Tim. I wrote this bad. I can't read it. January of 24. Again, Dad Punk from Boston on Bandcamp. You'll find these guys, and I'm going to look at my note and see why I can't read who mixed and produced it. I hate that. I crossed it out a couple times. Anyway, Spiller from Boston, and the song is called The Sparkler.
When I
All right, there's Spiller with the Sparkler. Go ahead, Jerry. I know you have some other information.
Mixed and produced by Tim O'Hare. Sorry.
Man, I bet their drummer is tired at the end of a show. Jim, what'd you think about that?
Yes, 1,000 times yes.
Lots of fuzz.
That was fantastic. It's kind of the way I like my punk rock right there.
Yeah.
I want to go back. I got to go back and read the lyrics on this, but and that's some members of some like legendary punk bands right there.
Yeah. That's some.
So the expectation was high, and they delivered.
I think
they delivered.
I would agree with you. Yeah, that is some good fuzzy.
Loved it.
Punk music. I like that.
Yeah.
All right. And they are available on Bandcamp and I'm sure lots of other places.
Mm-hmm.
So
I saw them on YouTube, some on Facebook. There's not a lot of social on the Bandcamp.
Right.
I guess you could probably email them and get that. But as far as Bandcamp, just go Spiller Dad Punk. Gotcha. And it's this band from Boston. Yeah. Wow. Good stuff.
Very cool. All right. Well, Spiller, make sure you check them out. And I want to say this to all the bands we're playing. We ask that you share this show and get your fans involved and have them put some comments and tell us a little bit of something about these bands that we may not know. And we'd really appreciate that. So, but with that being said, let's go back to 1969, Jim, and let's talk about that album that you wanted us to revisit.
Yeah. So 1969, the Stooges debut, self-titled, I guess you could say.
Right.
The Stooges. Let's go down here. Iggy Pop, credited as Iggy Stooge. Vocals and hand claps. Dave Alexander on bass guitar, Ron Ashton and Scott Ashton on guitar and drums, respectively. I kind of read through the whole bio, and the way they got signed was really kind of interesting. I don't know if they were like kind of opening up for the MC5 or something like that. And the guy who came down to sign them signed the MC5 and signed them also. And gosh darn it, I want to say Danny Fields is the guy that signed them. But they were just kind of playing in the garage like forever and like not doing anything. And then I think it was after seeing the MC5 that they kind of said like, okay, we need to actually go out and play some shows kind of thing. And known for their insane stage antics, right? Iggy Pop smearing peanut butter on himself and cutting himself up with glass and just chaotic. And I think you can hear some of that chaos in the record as
Most
well.
Definitely. And also you mentioned they were signed by Elektra. Their producer, John Cale, also played piano on a couple tracks, but you only mentioned one person with hand claps, and if you listen to that record, they're all credited with some hand claps. That was a thing back then, man.
Yes, that's true. They were all credited with hand claps.
I love the spaciousness of this record. It's loud in some places, and like Jerry and Jim and I were talking about beforehand, there's a few tunes on there that are like, this is some psychedelic stuff.
Yeah, originally they were called the Psychedelic Stooges and then eventually dropped the name, but fitting for what they were doing, I think, at the time.
Yeah.
Right.
And not too well received when it came out. I think it never got higher than like 189 or something on the Billboard one, top 200 or whatever. Let's see if I can find the chart listing here, but
and who puts a 10-minute tune on a 34-minute record with a bunch of 3 and 4 minute songs.
Whoever did, bless them.
Yep.
I achieved my zen with that tune.
You listened with earbuds, so you got the full
No,
effect of it.
I put it through my my Bluetooth, the one that made my Marshall, the Everton, and oh yeah, it was great.
Yeah,
it just hit me at the right thing. I never even thought, how long was that?
right.
I loved it.
Yeah.
The production on this album is grade A.
Super clear.
It's
for as
super
much
clear.
Distortion is on it.
Yes, and you're right. You get that wow, 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 you have the psychedelia. But I really like this album, Jim. Great pick. I would have never bought it on my own, and I liked it. I really do. I really do. Yeah.
Yeah, held up as one of the greatest records of all time.
That's really good.
Later on, kind of held up that way.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and some of these tunes, like I say, they're very, because they were considered a garage band.
Pretty simple lyrics. Yeah.
Truly had that garage band sound.
They did.
With their chord structures and everything else. And like Jerry said, some of the lyrics are pretty simplistic.
Yeah.
But they fit.
Work.
Right. They fit the way they were supposed to. Jerry, do you have a favorite song on this album?
I absolutely do. And it's the one that's longer than 3 minutes.
Yeah.
We Will Fall.
We Will Fall. Yeah.
And I get in my mood, folks, on Conspiracy Land here, the Dodger Gate, whatever. And then some nights it's just, no, it's music. It's music.
Mm-hmm.
And I was really impressed by the production. It's so, to me, this is so modern, the way it sounds. It doesn't sound dated. It does not sound dated to me at all. And I love where it took me. I like the music. I like the instruments. But yeah, We Will Fall. That was great. It was great.
I was reading a little bit today about that song because it's always been one of those that I either listen to the whole thing or I skip it because it is 10 minutes long.
Oh yeah.
But it could be a song about Iggy waiting in his hotel room for his girlfriend after he's shot up and he's flying as high as a kite. Right. It could be he's just waiting on her. He's just waiting for her, and this song came to mind. I don't know what the true meaning is, but
I don't care.
It means something different to everybody that listens to it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, when I first heard the chants and everything, I'm like, what are we getting here? You know, and then Iggy's
gotta let yourself go, Frank.
Let it go. Yeah.
Let yourself go.
What you were saying about how well it's recorded was so hilarious to me. Is Iggy is such a flat singer that he's perfect contrast to this stuff.
Yeah.
He almost talks.
Yeah. He's got that Lou Reed vibe. You know, that whole era of guys in that, they seem to have the same style almost. But yeah, good stuff. Now, what about you, Jim? Did you have a favorite tune on this one?
I feel like Jerry's just trying to provoke me.
No, I'm not at all. I'm telling you, I put that through my Emberton Bluetooth made by Marshall, and I blew up my living room, and I loved it. Well, I liked all of it.
Yeah.
But
nice product placement there.
That's right.
Good shout out.
Well, maybe my address did show up on that record. We'll find out.
Little tough to pick one.
Mm-hmm.
I like I'll go with I Want to Be Your Dog.
Okay. Like we've talked about, probably their most popular song.
Yeah, maybe so. But I also love like No Fun.
Right.
I love Real Good Time. I think it's great.
Good
at 2.5 minutes.
Real cool time. Yeah, real cool time.
Yep. But yeah, these guitar chords are just
that's delicious.
Yeah, it is. It's just good stuff.
I enjoyed
Sure.
it. Like I was telling these guys, I probably haven't listened to it all the way through.
Right.
It's probably like 92, 93, something like that.
That's
And ever since
crazy.
then, it's just been tracks, right?
Yeah.
But
I'm gonna tell you. See if you guys catch this or not. Maybe it's just me, but my favorite tune on this record is Anne, and the reason
Yeah.
being is so much a influence on Alice Cooper. If you listen to some of the early Alice Cooper stuff, you'll hear this, and they were all around the same type of circles, right? But this reminded me of an early Alice Cooper tune.
interesting.
Yeah.
I didn't make that connection, but you would.
Yeah. Well, I love Alice. So
You do.
but yeah, that was my favorite tune, and it's not a super hard rocker. You can, it's got a vibe and a certain feel to it that I really enjoy.
Yeah. Good pick, man.
All right. Okay, guys. Yeah, I have to say I'm pleasantly surprised because I think I'm like you. I don't think I've listened to this all the way through in 20 years, maybe, if that. Have the CD. It's one of those that you listen to once in a while, and it gets put away. And I don't know, to be honest with you, if I have any other Stooges albums, because they were, after listening to them, I think I was probably referred to go back and listen to the Stooges back when I was at work, and someone said, "You haven't heard this? You need to check,
Check
the
this
whole album out."
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't think I have to go through. I don't think I have any other of the Stooges CDs.
It's to me, it's one of those bands that, like, when you have that itch, it's the only thing that's going to scratch it.
Right. I get that. Yeah. And Iggy Pop on his own is such a bizarre individual, whether he's doing something on his own or with the Stooges. Quite the showman,
Yeah. There's a great Henry Rollins bit where he talks about opening up for Iggy Pop and just going out there and trying to destroy Iggy and giving it 110%. He said when it's all said and done, like, you couldn't hold a candle to the guy, right?
I bet. And Henry's full of energy, but man, Iggy, his amp goes to 11, right?
That's right.
Yeah. And they were both opening up for the Cure at the time. And there were like a bunch of plants that the Cure roadies had stuck out there, and Iggy's out there kicking them off the stage. They're looking at me, and he's like, they're looking at the roadies, and the roadies are like, he does his own thing, man.
Yep. All right. Well, that is from 1969. That's crazy. The Stooges, and that's their debut. And the on episode 135, I have a pick, and we'll get into that a little bit later. But right now, let's talk about a band I'm bringing to the table. And these guys are from Portland, Oregon. The band is called Old Town Diamonds. The song I'm going to play for you is called So Upset. The album is called 40 Miles. It was released in March of this year. And they're part circus and part necromancy. And yeah, that is pretty bizarre. But their live show features a 5-piece band that supports multiple vocals, harmonies, and onstage shenanigans, charming listeners, and inspiring dancers all over town. Now, before I get started, if I butcher this band's name, I do apologize. I'm already getting tongue-tied just thinking about it. That's why I'm screwing up. But Brian Coling is on vocals. Carl Anala is guitar and backing vocals. Christine Sorensen, keys and percussion and backing vocals. Mark Vermes plays bass. David Owen is on drums. Recorded by Gabriel Espinoza at Winter Beast. Mastered by Gus Elg at Sky Onion in Portland, Oregon. The song is called So Upset from the album 40 Miles.
Lock, write down your name, you got to pick that lock, write down your name, you got to go down the hole, climb out again, you got to go down the hole, climb out again, you got to climb that mountain, straight to the top, you gotta climb that mountain, straight to the top, you gotta ride, you gotta fly, protect your liberty, everybody gets it one night, so you gotta put up a fight. Bam, 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 bam. Bam, 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 bam. Oh, don't you think you'll get it tonight? Baby, you should put up a fight. You got to pick that lock, open up the gate, you got to pick that lock, open up the gate, you got to climb that mountain, yell from the top, you got to climb that mountain, yell from the top, you got to hold on to your freedom, it's all you got to hold on to your freedom, it's all you gotta fly, yeah, you gotta fly, oh, baby, we can be here tonight. Baby, you should put up a fight. Bam, 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 bam. Bam, 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 bam. Don't you wanna see it all end? You can even do it to friend.
Old Town Diamonds with So Upset. And I wanted to mention that both Brian and Carl were in a band called the Hell Cows, and they got together and formed the Old Town Diamonds. What did you think about that, Jim?
Interesting.
Yes.
Quirky. I really liked that, on all the breaks, the keyboards just kind of do that little fill in.
Mm-hmm.
That was like a beautiful little touch.
Yeah.
Vocals go almost Jim Morrison at a certain point. I can see how this could be like work in a very theatrical kind of stage production. Interesting and good length, and they know how to end a song.
Yeah. What is that? Minute and something, a minute and 58 seconds, something like that.
Yeah, perfect.
Yep. Jerry, what about you?
Speaking of theatrical and a little different spin on that, Jaime, I want to see a Quentin Tarantino movie in a bar where things are getting crazy and you can't figure it out. And these guys are the bar band.
Yes.
Or the song is playing.
Right.
It belongs right in that. That's all I kept thinking.
No, I think they need to be in the movie.
There you go. There you
Very
go.
theatrical.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Yep.
with the chicken wire and the
There you go.
yeah. No, that
beer
was
bottles
and,
hitting the wire.
and I got that vibe too, Jim. A little Morrison, couple parts of it, and then the keyboard too. Yeah, that's a great tune. Old Town Diamonds. I like it.
Good stuff, huh?
Yeah,
Yeah.
very different.
I remember I bought the EP and I looked at the length of the songs. I'm like, oh, Jim's gonna love this.
Yeah.
Yeah. Old Town Diamonds. Check them out. You won't be disappointed if you enjoyed that tune. The whole thing is everything they do is quirky, like Jim said. Very good.
Yeah, that's
Very unique. I think
Yeah.
that's
yes.
what makes it great.
All right. Last episode, Jim, you also had the let's pick the top 3 songs from Weezer.
We were on a little bit of
a
a 90s bend right then, I think. And
Yeah.
seemed to work. That episode was so long ago now.
it was.
Yeah, took a little break. Yeah.
Weezer, man, this is a band that's been around a lot longer than I really anticipated. They put out a lot of stuff. Wow.
Yeah, I can't remember what year I saw him in the 2000s, but it was like every song they play, you knew. I mean, it was like
Right.
one hit after the other after the other. It was like a greatest hits show.
I will tell you right off the bat, I'm going to start back at 1994. And I've told you this before. I was at at the LA County Fair, and one of the silos in it was Windows 95 actually was being premiered.
Wow.
And that song, Buddy Holly, was on the computer. And if you bought a computer with Windows 95 on it, you got that video. It starts off with the Happy Days bit, and then they're the band at Arnold's. And so 1994 was the first time I had heard of Weezer, and that song has always stuck with me. So that is one of my tunes. And then let's jump up to 2019. They put out the Teal album, bunch of covers. And I have to say, talk about a quirky band, they know how to do a cover, right? They know how to do a cover. My favorite, Paranoid. They kicked butt and took some names on that one. And I really enjoyed that tune. Never going to be as sinister as Ozzy singing it, but man, the guitar sounded great. Then let's move up to 2002. How about Dope Nose?
Yeah.
And I love that tune too. And it's, again, quirky music. Quirky. Was it Maladroit? Is that the name of the album?
Probably so.
Yeah. And that's 2002. So we're going from 1994 to 2002, and I haven't even covered many of their albums. That's just 3, and there's a whole boatload in between and since.
Yeah.
So, what about you, Jerry?
Not necessarily in any order. I've always loved Pork and Beans. Buddy Holly, of course. And guys, I hate to say this, I did not know Weezer did this song, and I've always loved this song, Hash Pipe.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I did not know that was Weezer, and I've always loved it. So I got me a little kick when I figured out that was them.
I thought you were going to say Africa.
Well, I listened to that. You know, like you said, it's a greatest hits.
Yeah.
If you just go look them up and just go songs, But I always loved Pork and Beans.
Yeah.
And of course, Buddy Holly. And there's several more, but I had no idea they were the ones that did Hash Pipe.
That's funny.
And that was such a treat to find that out. So yeah, that's my 3.
Very good. And since they were your choice, Jim, what about you?
Well, to be honest, I think they did a great job on Africa.
They did. All their covers are great. I don't have a problem with any of them.
No. Yeah, Rivers Cuomo was an MI guy. He studied at GIT. And, he can shred if he wants to.
The Van Weezer album is one that I have that's really good.
Yeah.
Loud.
Okay, well, I'm going with maybe little earlier stuff here. I'm gonna go Pork and Beans.
Okay.
Surf Wax America. And Buddy Holly.
Buddy Holly, yeah. Well, that put him on the map.
Not the first song by them I ever heard, but I still love that song.
Yeah.
Same here.
Video might have something to do with it, but I don't know.
It's endearing because it's been around for so long. And like I said, buy a computer and you get a video, and that's the first time you actually saw a live video on a computer that wasn't shaking all over the place. And sitting in a silo and hearing that at every table you go to, you end up thinking, I got to find out who's singing this. This is great. You know, even though they tell you in the video every time, but never really heard them other than that song. Good stuff. That is one versatile band, I will say.
I would agree with that.
Yep. All right, Jim. I know you got some new music for us finally.
I do. Finally. Took a long time, but here we go. So a guy we featured on the show a couple times, Tim Izzard. We're revisiting him, but he has a working with this band called Orbis Max out of San Diego, but they're not really out of San Diego. Orbis Max is they're an internet music collective. So they have members in San Diego, Dallas, Texas, Wickenburg, Arizona, New Jersey, Liverpool, UK, and North Carolina.
Thank you, Internet.
I know. Thank you, Internet, right?
Yeah.
So the song we're going to hear is called Here and Now. And it features, I hope I don't butcher anybody's name here, D.W. Dunphy on vocals, Tim Izzard on vocals, Don, and I don't know if this is Bake or Bake on guitars and drum programming and mixing, Bruce Walker on keyboards, and Craig Karlstrom on bass. So this is Here and Now. Go ahead and drop the needle in the groove, Frank.
All right, there is Orbis Max and Tim Izzard. You know, some songs need to be polished, and some songs arrive nice and polished. And that
Don't
thing,
touch it.
no, that thing's got all the studio workings you could ever want. I love that.
That was great.
Yeah. I don't know. Like I said, Jim and I were talking earlier today that there's so many bands putting stuff out that is not ready to be heard by anybody, much less the
Not even their
masses.
parent. Not even their parents.
No.
Work on that, boys. Work
No.
on it.
And then you have something like this that like I said, it has been fine tuned in the
Don't touch it. Yeah.
studio. So good.
That
good.
is.
Oh,
Yeah, I
man.
thought the vocal arrangements were just fantastic, and it's great, great melody.
That's
Yeah.
beautiful.
Even the music, beautiful melody to it.
Mhm. I just have that piano going off on one side and everything else. It just, it was a well-rounded production. Good job.
Beautiful.
Orbis Max, man, and Tim. Don't forget.
Thanks,
about Tim.
guys.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Thank you.
written by Tim and Mr. DW Dumpy there.
Awesome. Good deal. Must check that out. Wonder what the rest of the record sounds like once it does full album comes out.
Good
Should be
stuff.
See.
Yep.
Yeah.
Hey, before we get into my picks, I have to ask you guys. I forgot about this. Did either of you see any of the Gershwin Awards show celebrating Elton John and Bertie Taupin?
I only saw the Metallica thing,
Okay. Garth
which
Brooks.
was pretty kick ass, I thought.
Well, I'm gonna tell you what, I'm not a fan of Metallica, and they did what Metallica does. They went on way too long. They drug out a jam.
That's not a short song.
Well, the first part is not. The second part, they could have ended it 3 minutes earlier, but they were doing their jam. They're doing Metallica.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah. Garth Brooks, Brandy Carlisle, Annie Lennox, Jacob Lusk, Joni Mitchell, Maren Morris, Charlie Puth. I mean, my only problem with this is poor Elton had to look enthused with everybody singing his songs. And I don't know if it was heartfelt or not. But
He looked like he genuinely dug the Metallica. But it was funny. I was reading the comments, and somebody said, like, screw that guy sitting behind Elton. And so every time I got to him, the guy's back there like,
yeah. Well,
I'm like, do you hate Metallica that much? Like, you're not getting anything out of this?
You had to, you got to figure the fans that were there that are Elton John fans are probably not in the Metallica camp. There were plenty of people banging their heads and whatnot, but a lot of them looked so out of place trying to be cool and act like they enjoyed it. And Cindy said, God, Elton looks like somebody's grandma. He's got no rhythm, and he's up there, shaking and pointing, and it was hard.
He can play the hell out of that piano.
Oh,
he got rhythm on the piano when he's got that thing in front of him. He's all over the joint. Yeah.
At the end, he played a few tunes, and he's got these little fat sausage fingers, and I'm like, how does he do that? Yeah. This guy, the talent in this man is just amazing.
Incredible.
But overall, like I said, Garth Brooks nailed the songs that he did. Brandy Carlisle, so talented. Annie Lennox, and he allowed Joni Mitchell to change the lyrics on "I'm Still Standing" because of her issues she's using a cane to walk and whatnot. And he said, "Do what you got to do." And she put on a decent performance. Not what I would say I will remember it, because I'm not a huge Joni Mitchell fan, but
I like Joni.
She paid tribute to Elton, so that's and you got to figure she's what, 80 something now.
I don't know.
Elton's up there too.
So fantastic show. Like I said, Metallica, yes, there was Metallica, but it sounded like something off of Saint Anger. You don't have to go on that long. You guys, holy smokes, wrap it up. People got to get home,
I think there's just some Metallica bias right there.
Yeah, you wouldn't.
You think? You think?
Maybe. It was a little long, I suppose, but I don't know.
Well, no, the beginning again of the Funeral for a Friend and all that. They nailed that as far as transforming it, making it their own. But Love Lies Bleeding in Their Hands, it just went on. Only how Metallica can do. That's just all I can say. So,
One of my favorite all-time Elton John songs.
yes. Oh, that album, Goodbye Yellow Brick Road. I don't think there's a dud on that record.
No,
You know, for a double album,
I know.
masterpiece. Right? Yeah. So, with that being said, I am not choosing that, but let's go to 1977. And we've talked about this record before, but I don't think we have discussed it in this format as of yet. How about Rainbow and Long Live Rock and Roll?
Yes.
This is Ronnie James Dio's final album, studio album with the band, and came out in 78.
Good call.
And I think other than the last tune, it's a rocker all the way through. It really is.
I don't think we've done any Rainbow, have we?
I don't remember, but we're talking about holy cow, Bob Daisley, Cozy Powell, and Richie Blackmore with Ronnie James Dio singing. How can you go wrong?
How can you go wrong?
Now, how about a top three? Let's change gears a little bit. Top three Bee Gees songs.
What?
Bee Gees. Yeah.
Okay.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah, I thought that would kind of perk you up a little bit. They've got so many tunes. Holy mackerel. So we're gonna be checking out Rainbow and Long Live Rock and Roll and some Bee Gees, top three Bee Gees tunes on the next episode.
You can almost not get any more polar opposite than those two groups.
That's
Exactly.
our Frank, honey. That's our Frank.
That's what I wanted to do.
That's it. He'll take his meds once we end the show, and he'll be right back to not opposing polars.
Yeah. Much as I'm stumbling tonight, I think I already took them. Anyways, Jerry, you got anything you want to say?
Yes, I do, Jim and Frank. Folks on Conspiracy Land, please drop us a note at the jfjshow@gmail.com. Like Frank says, bands, please share. It helps us a lot. We appreciate you listening. But folks out there, we got Spiller, we got Old Town Diamonds, and we got Orbis Max featuring Time Izzard. Great tunes. It's out there, folks. We got our favorite three from Weezer. We got the debut album from Stooges on this show. We really appreciate you watching and listening. Keep rocking, folks. Thank you very much. We love you.
All right. Yeah, three very different bands, some great music tonight.
Yeah.
You guys did great.
You did great, Frank.
Stay fresh, cheese bags.
Oh,
Jim.
Hey, if you made it this far, smash that like button, subscribe, ring that notification bell, leave a comment down below. Almost every 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Slide into your DMs. We're a little behind this week, but
Nope.
All good in the hood.
There you go.
That's right.
Did we cover everything?
I think so. Are we missing something?
I don't know.
I don't know.
No, I'm looking at my notes. The only thing I missed was the cheese bags. Stay fresh. I miss that every show. No, unless Frank's going to pull something out of his hat.
Nope. No, I'm not wearing a hat.
Hat, I said, folks. Yeah, I have to. Some kids got a rated PG show here, folks.
There you go.
Yeah.
Most of the time.
Yeah.
All right. No, I don't have anything else.
Except the Golden Greek on your shirt.
The Golden
John
Greek.
Tolis.
John Tolis. If you know who he is, let us know in the comment section.
Oh, wow.
Frank.
I didn't know who he was. I could just see his forehead there, and I was like, and then his eyeballs.
Yep.
John Tolis, the Golden Greek.
There
They're
you go.
wrestling at the Olympic back in the day, Jaime.
I know that name though.
Yeah, we probably weren't even 9 or 10, 8 or 9, something like that.
You've
Yeah.
probably seen it on billboards and posters.
Oh,
and
yeah.
whatnot,
Oh,
and
yeah.
He was
By the
he was
Brew
everywhere in the
102.
70s.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Wow.
All right. Well, if there's nothing else, Jim, why don't you take us on home?
Shop is closed.
The album is called 40 Miles. It was released in March of this year. Their bio says country curious roots rock. Excuse me.
I will say this: when you said cunty instead of country,
Yeah,
you might want to delete that part.
I know.
But-
I'm just